I'm Neil with Good Apple Games, and today I'm very excited to talk to you about Tally Up. All right, Tally Up. Eric Olsen, the designer of Flip 7, is just released Tally Up. This is hot off the press, so I got this right before the holiday, and I've had some time to really log in enough plays with this, and I gotta tell you, this is a pretty fun one. I'm gonna show you how to play the game real quick, then I'll share my thoughts. All right, so how do you play Tally Up? Well, at its core, Tally Up is all about rolling dice, pushing your luck, and secretly bidding on how far you think you can go without busting. So you'll see here we've got the dice in front of us, and you are going to first select any 3 dice from these 6. And you'll see we've got a handy dandy little aid here that shows you which dice has what values. Now, you're going to be rolling these dice. The stars are important because if you roll 2 stars, then you bust and the running total goes to 0. Everyone who was in loses the amount. But if you get 3 stars, then that's a tally up. And the first person to yell tally up gets 200 points, and then everybody else gets 100 points. So that is a little diagram of the dice, and you'll see a handy dandy little chart. So you can keep that handy at the table, but you can pick the risky dice, you can pick the safe dice, or you can pick any combination of dice. But once you've picked your 3 dice, you're going to get rid of those, and you're going to roll these. So everybody's in on the first roll, obviously. And then once you see the total here, this is where the scorekeeping is very fun for us, and especially if you've got some chips to play with, right? So if you've got the scorekeeping app, that's great. I would not recommend keeping your score with a pen and paper, especially because they went through so much time to give us the scoring app. But I really like playing with these chips. So once you get the score in the middle, now you can see the score there. This dice is just regular points. We just add those in the middle. But if there's a circle around the number, that means you're going to roll the up dice. This is where it gets really fun, okay? At this point, everybody would secretly reveal their bid. So how we do it is we just grab it in our hand, put it down, and then we go 1, 2, 3. We slap it on the table. If everybody stays in, that means they're risking the up dice because this has got some goodies on it. We just rolled double the point value of the running total. So in that case, we're going to add 80 more points to the total. So that was pretty good, right? But we could have rolled a +2 or a +3 or a +1. And that means we've got to add some more dice to the mix, right? If we had rolled a +3, for example, we would have had to roll all of these extra dice. And that could mean, dun, 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 we would have busted. See why that could be risky? So if anybody goes out at any point, they get to bank these points. And so what we typically do is we will just get the chips that they are owed, and then we would hand those to anybody that goes out. Okay, so they got their points, but everyone else is staying in. And that means with the same original 3 dice that you started the round with, you're going to roll again and keep going, right? So that's another 80 points. So we keep adding these to the middle here. You can probably upgrade those to 100. But you see how fun these chips are. My goodness, it just makes the game so enjoyable. You can see those chips stacking there. Now let's say somebody else goes out and there's only one person left, right? That person keeps rolling, or whoever the roller is keeps rolling for them until they either decide to go out and bank the points, or if they're in and they get 2 stars at any point, they would bust and lose everything, okay? So that's how you play in a nutshell. It's the first person to 2,500 points ends the game, and the person with the highest score wins. And this is why it's really important that you conceal your bid, because once it gets to that point where you're trying to beat each other out and the game is going to end, you might play differently if you know somebody's going out. you might keep pressing your luck, right? So anyway, that's the game in a nutshell. Super fun. Plays 2 to 10 players, and it scales really well since everybody's playing in real time. But again, these chips, you guys, I'm telling you, this is the way to keep score. It's really fun that way. It's great with the app too, but if you've got access to these board game chips, definitely use those. All right, so what did we think of Tally Up? Well, this game, first off, can you appreciate just how small of a package this game comes in? That's the first thing I'll say about Tally Up, is this little tin here packs a ton of game. I mean, this is a party in a little box. And we got this right before the holiday. This is hot off the press. And so I played it a lot over the New Year's, Christmas and New Year's. And it just always blows my mind when I pull this thing out of my pocket, just how much fun there is in this little box. So that's the first thing I'll say, is I love just how condensed it is. And you got a lot in here, right? You got the dice, the bid chips, the cards. So there's a lot of game in this little box, and I appreciate that. So it's very tempting to just throw in your pocket anytime you're going somewhere where you might be able to play a game. If you enjoy kind of the heart-pounding press your luck game style, you gotta check out Tally Up. If you're a fan of Flip 7 at all, then you'll definitely be checking this out. But I really like the up dice and how that really feels unique for the press your luck mechanic, because there's obviously rolling that initial dice and making sure you don't bust and staying in to get your points up. But then there's the up dice, and when you introduce the up dice, it just adds another element of uncertainty that I think is really fun. And there's just a lot going on with this game. So you've got your initial dice, which you can pick the riskier dice or the safer dice. So there's that decision to make. Then there's the roll. Then there's if you're going to bid, stay in, or stay out. Then there's the potential tally up. If you get 3 stars, that you got to be, got that real time element in there, which is a lot of fun. Then there's the up dice that you got to, bid, stay in or go out for that. And then, it could add more dice. It could add 100 points, subtract 100 points, double the score. So there's a lot of variability that keeps it really interesting. And overall, it just creates some memorable moments. I mean, there are some huge moments in this, and especially when somebody's getting close to the, the threshold of the point value. I think it's 2,500 in the game. We usually play with 2,000 points just to speeden it up a little bit. But when somebody starts getting close to that 2,000 range, oh man, the energy goes way up, because now you're seeing if they're going to go out. And that's when it actually is really important for you to conceal your bid. And that's one thing. We'll go ahead and just jump into a few things that hampered the experience a little bit initially. We got over them, and I'm happy to report we love the game. But our first playthrough, it wasn't clear in the rule book how to conceal the bid. Now, granted, you can say I'm slower than most people. You just put your hand over it, or you pull it beneath the table, flip it over, and then you unveil. And that's how we've been doing it. But I just wish that would have been in the rule book, just to make that first playthrough a little more clear. The other thing was when there's a tie for a tally up, because if you get those 3 stars, the first person to yell tally up gets 200 points. Well, we've had quite a few times where multiple people will say tally up at the same time, and again, it's not clear in the rule book what to do in those situations. Now, we decided just to give the 2 people the 200 point bonus, but again, it just would have been better if some of those things were in the rule book. So, those are forgivable things, but it just would have been nice to have that a little more buttoned up. The other thing that is an obstacle, I think, for this game just being a just out of the box hit that first playthrough is the scorekeeping. Now, I gotta say, the app that Messy Table Games put together for this game is phenomenal. It is a great scorekeeping app. It's browser-based, so you can access it on your mobile device, your computer, wherever, and it does a great job. With a running total game like this, there's no way around just keeping track of the running total, right? It's just going to be a little clunky. It's going to bog the game down a little bit, no matter how you do it. The app is way better than keeping score on a scratch pad like I did the first time I played. So if you're keeping score on a scratch pad, this game is not very fun. Okay, it's very mathy, and that's a big job. With the app, it totally it just makes it way better with the app. But I am very happy to report that for Christmas, I got a board game chip set. And we'll see if I can open this. And this is my preferred way to play the game, okay, for scorekeeping. These chips eliminate any qualms I had about scorekeeping with this game. And I got this game from that was kind of fun to, when are we going to play this again? And my family has been begging to play it again. And I highly recommend, if you've got a chip set, you got to do the scorekeeping with the chip set. And at first I was not sure that was going to change the game a bunch, but it does. And here's why. Because when you're playing with the chips and you see those points stacking up, and you can now see everyone's score, and you can see the chips stacking up in the running total, it just changes the game entirely, and it makes it way more fun. So I highly recommend playing Tally Up with a chip set. And if you got poker chips, that'll do the job. This is a really nice clay set that my wife got. There's actually two parts to it. So we got the 1s through 10s in the other set. But that absolutely transformed the game for us. And so now we love the game. And spoiler alert, we really like the game. And so our verdict is this game is going to be sleeved. And we are going to be playing it a lot. I was torn between sleeved and Preachify, and the only reason it's not going into Preachify territory is just because of those few things with the rulebook, the scorekeeping, recognizing not everybody is going to have a board game chip set or poker chip set to play with. For us, we absolutely love this game. It is Preachify for us, but given the rule book and some of the scorekeeping that you just can't overcome right out of the gate, it's going to be sleeved. We love this game, all right? And if you are a Press Your Luck party fan at all, if you like Flip 7 at all, if you've been following Eric Olsen or any of his other games, then you have got to check out Tally Up. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you like that short review, please follow, like, and subscribe. We've got plenty more content on the way. 2026 is off to a great start so far for board games, and we're excited to bring you more. Until next time, catch you later.